So on my left here, I have Martin McElhinney, who's the General Manager in McElhinney's Department Store in Ballybofey. Next to Martin is Anne Fox, who is a Principal in St Patrick's National School in Lurgy-Brack in Letterkenny. Then we have Patrick Murray, who is Manager for Tusla West in Ireland. Next to Patrick is Lynn McLaughlin, and Lynn is a HR consultant with Fortius HR in Inishowen. And finally, we have Jim McCabe, who's Managing Director of Ferrum Engineering in Donegal Town. So as I say, we're very grateful to them for coming today. Donegal ETB is trying to build up its links with employers on behalf of the students that we have, so that we'll know what employers are looking for when you go out into the workplace. Facilitating the discussion today is Dervla Kelly, and Dervla has been the main person really who has been responsible for organising the seminar today, and as I say, she's going to facilitate the discussion. So thank you, Dervla.
Thank you, Crona. So just as you, the audience, created your effective 60-second pitch, I'm going to invite our panel to give us a pitch of the companies that you have, the products that you create, or the people that you serve. So I don't know who'd like to go first.
My name's Patrick Murray, and I'm the HR manager with Tusla, the Child and Family Agency in the West. And I cover an area, I'm responsible for human resources and industrial relations for the company, from Donegal down the western seaboard, down to Limerick and North Tipperary in the Midwest. And essentially we're responsible for child services that were previously provided by the HSE. So the main people we employ are social workers, social care workers, family support workers. We're responsible for child protection and welfare services, for adoption, fostering, residential services. But we're also responsible for early years inspections, so for play schools and Montessori schools, and also for education and welfare, ensuring people complete the school completion programs, for example. And we also fund family resource centres who work closely with the ETB. So there's about 650 staff who work in the West, about 3,500 in the country. So that's what I do.
Thank you, Patrick.
Sorry, as was said, my name is Anne Fox. I'm the principal out in Lurgy-Brack National School, which is just on the hill there up the Ballybofey Road. My role in the school, I suppose, is a leader and to lead education. I have a team behind me of 32, and I am in charge of those. I am also involved in recruitment of staff, SNAs and teachers. As I say, I have to lead the team and drive education forward. I also am the main person responsible for dealing with the Department of Education. They're my focal point when we need new things, and I'm their main contact when they need to contact the school. We have 462 staff, pupils, and we have 32 staff. That includes SNAs and auxiliary staff in it. And we recently opened an autism centre, which was challenging in itself, different style of teaching and a different type of teacher. So you're responsible for all of that.
Thank you, Anne.
My name is Martin McElhinney. I work for McElhinney's Department Store in Ballybofey. We're the largest independent department store in Ireland. I'm responsible for the day-to-day running of the store and our website, mcelhinneys.com. We currently employ 186 people. And we'd say we have 15 departments. Again, we can clothe you from the cradle to the grave. So. And that's me.
Thank you, Martin. Thank you, Martin.
Good afternoon, everyone. Lynn McLaughlin, Fortius HR, an outsourced human resources solutions provider based in the Northwest. We cover a provision of human resources industrial relation services to companies throughout Donegal, Leitrim and Sligo, and in Northern Ireland. I started my career in recruitment with one of the former Dragons, Peter Casey, a company called the Clada Group. So that's basically the foundation where I started. Although I work across all areas of human resources, I do facilitate and help my clients with recruitment in various different industries, from manufacturing to hospitality, retail, construction, healthcare, right across all sectors. And my experience, recent experience, is that there is a surge in recruitment at the moment, and there has been over the last 6 to 12 months. However, there has been absolutely a shift from traditional recruitment methods to more innovative and different ways of recruiting.
Thank you, Lynn.
Hello, I'm Jim McCabe, Managing Director of Firm Engineering in Donegal Town. In 2006, I set up Firm Engineering because I realised at that stage that there was changes coming about in relation to some of the larger companies in relation to outsourcing, and companies were streamlining and they wanted to concentrate on their core skills, which was manufacturing, production, whatever they were doing, and that they were leading towards outsourcing facility services and contracting in supply. So we spotted that gap in the market, and we tendered for some contracts and we won them. At the same time, we specialised in the renewable energy sector because it was the buzzword at the time, and we were lucky enough, we got a lot of work in that area and we built up a name for ourselves. And throughout the years of the recession, because we had a very wide base in that we covered both mechanical, electrical engineering, the renewable energy sector, and we were also doing facility maintenance, and we were contracting different services. We set up a wide base, and that was our kind of menu for surviving throughout the post-Celtic Tiger years. And we would employ about 35 people full-time, and I suppose on a contractual and seasonal basis we probably provide employment for another 50 people. So we have discovered over the years, or we learned, that the emphasis has to be on quality, and certainly in the years following the Celtic Tiger, people are no longer, or companies are no longer prepared to accept substandard work, and they also want us at value for money. So our goal is to be competitive and provide quality. The quality service relates to how you perform your work, and in performing that work, you realise that your interaction with customers is most important, particularly if you want to win new business. And it's all about keeping customers. So our emphasis would be on trying to ensure that all our staff are well trained, and which is a must. It's also a must because building regulations, fire regulations, health and safety, they've all changed. Things are getting tighter, and there's more and more emphasis on compliance. And if you want to compete in those markets out there, you have to be compliant, and that means having people trained up in various assets of what the work they're carrying out. So we strive to do that, and thank God we have survived over the years, and we've built up a reputation for ourselves, and we hope to continue doing that. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. So thanks to our panel for giving a wonderful bird's eye view of their functions, and I'm delighted to hear that there's an upsurge in recruitment, and I think it's good news for us all here today. Now, Catherine Moonan, who's been working so well with you earlier on today, mentioned that life's a pitch, and I read Catherine's book, and I learnt that 80% of people get their jobs through networking. And that means through somebody that they know. And we heard a lot about that this morning. To kickstart today, I'd like to ask our panel, if one of our audience here was to drop into you in your workplace, or to bump into you in Tesco's, or to meet you at a gathering, what kind of a pitch would you like to be hearing? Because our audience all have their 60-second pitch now. What would you like to be hearing from them?
Well, the first thing I would be looking for is to see if there were, you try and ascertain that when they come in that they're interested in the work that you do. And I think before you drop into a prospective employer, the first thing you should do is spend a bit of time researching what they do and know what to do. There's no point coming in to look for a job, not know what your potential employer is going to do. And if you know what to do, be sure that some of the skills that you possess are going to fit into that set.
And that's what we heard this morning. Catherine kick-started today with Know Your Audience, and Jim is backing that up there. Who else would like to say something?
I'm going to approach this from a different perspective in terms of the perfect pitch, and that every single day that you present yourself, that you walk out your front door, you're pitching yourself, you're presenting yourself. And this just ties into something that I mentioned earlier there around companies are recruiting in a different way at the moment. I was with a very, very small company in Donegal a few weeks ago, and they had a vacancy for a salesperson, an on-the-road salesperson. And they said to me, could you do up the job description and draft the advert and all of that? And I said, absolutely, I can do that. But the first thing I want you to do is I want you to take 2 weeks. And when you're on the road every day, and when you go to the corner shop to get your litre of milk at night, when you're out on a Saturday evening, wherever you are, I want you to think about the vacancy that you have and the person in front of you that you're meeting. And are they a match to what you're looking for, or do they know somebody that they could mention to you, give the name to you? And the recruitment industry and vacancies are being filled now through networking and referrals, and it's not just about placing an advert in the paper. So the guy went off for his 2 weeks, and he came back to me and he said, I'm going to approach a guy now in his early 20s. He works in sales, and I've got my thoughts together, and we discussed the role, and he went off to meet that guy casually for a cup of coffee one evening to see. And it's not just as well about a company recruiting an individual now. It's about there being a match. It has to be a right fit for both the employee and the company itself. And this goes back to what Jim just mentioned there about knowing about the organisation. Are you a cultural fit? Is the company a cultural fit for you? If this is a company that's solely focused on sales and you prefer to be off in a corner somewhere designing or being innovative around a product, then maybe this is not the company for you. So it's a two-way process now, because the cost of recruitment and training and development is excessive, and if you don't get the right match, then there's a loss there. There's also a loss of time in terms of the employee. But my point is that it's about you realising that when you're in a position in a company that you don't know who's watching you or observing you and wondering, well, is that individual actually a right fit for my company? And that could be your next promotion and your next step in the ladder.
Thank you, Lynn. And I think that's a great message, that maybe employers now are using an ear to the ground, non-formal approach, so that we will always be pitching, and we never know when that opportunity can come our way.